In 2027, MotoGP will be changing its formula for the first time in over 15 years, moving down to 850cc engines, using Pirelli tires, and using 100% sustainable fuels, among other changes including reduced aero and banning whole-shot devices. The door will be wide open for any manufacturer to become one of the new front-runners. This, of course, includes the 5 current manufacturers: Ducati, Aprilia, KTM, Honda, and Yamaha, but it may also include one or more brand new names on the grid. My name is B. This is the Beehive Paddock, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 new manufacturers who may be coming to MotoGP in 2027. Unlike some clickbait AI channels out there, I'm not telling you that any of these brands are guaranteed to come into MotoGP. Nothing has been made official as of right now. With that being said, there are multiple manufacturers who have had very strong connections to MotoGP in the past and have made statements saying they would like to come in. Let's discuss those today. If you're enjoying the video, please drop a like and subscribe to help get this channel out into the YouTube algorithm so more people can enjoy MotoGP content. Let's start with one that many people, myself included, think is a borderline guarantee: BMW. The German superbike juggernaut has seemingly made some big moves towards coming into the prototype racing space. BMW does have a Grand Prix racing history, but it's mostly rooted in the very early days of the championship, with their best effort being Walter Zeller in 1956, who failed to beat John Surtees while he was out with a broken arm. However, they were also a dominant force in the sidecar championship, winning 19 constructors titles in that series. In the modern day, they've mostly been focused on production racing instead, but after finding great success in recent years, may be coming to MotoGP. The BMW Motorcycles CEO has publicly stated that the move in 2027 has been considered. However, perhaps the most damning piece of evidence that BMW is going to make a move into MotoGP is a decision that they made last year: the purchase of Suzuki's GSX-RR data. Last year, the German marque purchased the last few seasons worth of Suzuki's MotoGP data, presumably with the intention of studying it in the effort of building a prototype machine themselves. In addition, their star rider and recent Superbike champion Toprak Razgatlioglu has signed a deal to come over to MotoGP with Yamaha next year. Toprak trying to come into MotoGP is nothing new, but the conspiracy theorist in me wants to say that BMW may have sent him over as sort of a scouting party to learn more about prototype bikes before recruiting him themselves to their own team a few years down the line. In addition, under the current set of rules, the number of bikes on a MotoGP grid is limited to 24. This means that a new manufacturer who wants to come in with a full factory and satellite effort would need to convince a pre-existing team to run their bikes. Therefore, it helps BMW's case a lot that they have a connection to a pre-existing team in the form of VR46, whose owner, Valentino Rossi, currently drives for BMW in various international auto racing events. All of these things combined, the purchase of data, comments from their CEO, and a pre-existing link with the team on the grid in the form of Valentino Rossi, all signs are pointing for a BMW grid entry in 2027. I don't think they're the most likely to join, but I think they're going to be the first. In fact, the manufacturer that I think is most likely to return is a fan favorite: Suzuki. Let's get one thing out of the way. Suzuki's return to MotoGP and racing in general is not a matter of if, only when. We only have to look at their history to see that this isn't the first time they've gone on a hiatus from Grand Prix racing. Suzuki's factory effort has been known to go AWOL from time to time. First in 1983 after they were unable to defend their Constructors' Championship, taking a 3-year hiatus and creating the RGV Gamma for 1987. Then another hiatus in 2011, citing rising costs and economic struggles as the reason for leaving, and returning in full force in 2015. This hiatus is nothing new, and the new regulations may be a perfect jumping on point for the brand. Although some comments from their CEO Toshihiro Suzuki may suggest otherwise. Quote, "We will return to the race and we will do it to win, but for that we must first solve our problems in the market. If we don't have a complete range and detailed models to offer our customers, being in MotoGP does not make sense." These comments were made late in 2024, and Suzuki's racing division has allegedly experienced a revival. But with less than 2 years to produce an 850 prototype, 2027 may not be in the cards for Suzuki. As I said, I do expect them to return. I just don't necessarily think it'll be in time for the new regulations to kick off. But no matter how long it takes, fans can rest assured knowing that they plan to return at some point. In recent days, some reports have come out that one of the most legendary motorcycle manufacturers from days gone by may be returning to the paddock in 2027 if certain conditions can be met. Allegedly, 16-time Premier Class Constructors champions MV Agusta have expressed explicit interest in joining MotoGP in 2027. And by that I mean it sounds like MV is going to have some trouble getting getting a factory effort off the ground. The problem is their complicated situation. After the death of Count Augusta, the brand has struggled to find the same success that they had in their prime. After bouncing around between companies, they landed as a subsidiary of the Piero Mobility Group. Before that, company's widespread financial troubles forced the sale of the Italian manufacturer. As is being reported by GP1, the former CEO and now chairman of the supervisory board Hubert Trunkenpolz will be traveling to the German Grand Prix to meet with Dorna representatives and potential partners to discuss an MV return. Sounds promising, right? Well, the problem is with how they want to return. Trunkenpolz allegedly revealed that MV does not feel they will be able to make their own 850cc resources, but are hopeful they can use Liberty Media's takeover to their advantage, and use a Formula 1 style strategy, using components from other teams to field an entry for 2027. He explicitly mentioned commissioning a Kalex chassis and then using another constructor's existing 850cc engine. Whether or not this will be permitted remains to be seen. Frankly, I don't really see a reason why this wouldn't be allowed, but I'm not sure Dorna would let them create a new factory effort with this type of machine, meaning they would have to convince an existing team to run an amalgamation Kalex and someone else's bike. Just from the sound of that, it doesn't sound like a winning machine to me. Not only do I feel that this isn't really a fair continuation of MV Augusta's absolutely incredible legacy, I also feel they might have trouble getting a team to agree to run this type of machine. Who knows though, anything's possible. Okay, the last one on our list today is a bit of a wild card. This one doesn't have comments from their CEO or a direct link or even a MotoGP past, but they do have very strong links to the Grand Prix paddock as of right now. Let's talk about CF Moto. A CF Moto entry on the grid would bring Chinese representation to the premier class, and would finally complete CF Moto's line of motorcycle road racing team efforts. They already have entries in Moto2, Moto3, Junior GP, and the European Talent Cup. That's a more thorough support structure and development ladder than most factories have, and a MotoGP team would just cap it off for a brand that is on the cusp of becoming a global motorcycling juggernaut. Chinese motorcycles have not exactly been seen favorably over the past few decades. However, in recent years, brands like Kove and CF Moto have been breaking this trend and making genuine quality products and amazing racing machines. Last year, Kove was competitive in the Supersport 300 Championship, and CF Moto won the Constructors' Championship in Moto3, so a Chinese entry into MotoGP seems like it's only a matter of time, and I can see why CF Moto would be chomping at the bit to be the one to do it. But how practical actually is it? Currently, their Grand Prix teams don't even use their own technology. Of course, Moto2 they use a Kalex chassis and the Triumph engine, and in Moto3 and Junior GP they use KTM bikes. Why should we believe they'll join MotoGP with their own effort? Well, that is a bit of a hurdle. Of course, they are a little more disconnected from the rest of the Grand Prix paddock, so development of an engine in secret might be more possible, and they have shown interest in making big bore engines very recently. At the 2024 Milan Motorcycle Show, they unveiled a 1000cc V4 engine allegedly producing in excess of 200 horsepower. They may just be looking at the idea of that 850 sooner than later. Seeing a development ladder that extends from the Talent Cup level all the way up to MotoGP itself would be really cool in my opinion. Frankly, I just love speculating about this kind of stuff. I think that we need more manufacturers. I would love if all of them could join, but I know that that's not feasible whatsoever. If we get even one, I'll be absolutely thrilled. Regardless, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like and subscribe. Thank you to my channel members, MVP2112, Venturian CRO, Sean, Motosapien, B, Jack, the world's fastest Maori, Drew Gibbs, Really Very Bored 1, Carl Ruppersberg, and Schmalutin. Thank you very much for watching, and to everyone, have a fantastic day.